right, good evening, everyone. I'd like to call the meeting to order. The Pledge of Allegiance, please. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Welcome, everyone, and thank you for coming tonight. Roll call, Mr. Lombard.
Hullum.
Yes.
Odie. Klatt. Saxer. Schrader. Yes.
All right, with that takes us to the approval of our agenda tonight. Is there any changes that need to be made? Anything that anybody wants to pull above a line? If not, I would entertain a motion to approve the agenda as presented tonight.
So moved.
Second. There's been a first and a second. All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion passes. Thank you. No conflict of interest disclosure waiver requests for forms to do tonight, and again, no community input. That takes us to administration report. Superintendent Larson for the superintendent's report.
Yes, Madam Chair. So previously we had talked a little bit about the middle school construction project. Just wanted to re-emphasize those numbers to you, and then I would note that later in the agenda we will be transitioning to the middle school to just have a walkthrough of that construction project. I would note that there are punch list items that still need to be completed, but overall we'll be able to take a tour walkthrough of that project here later this afternoon or later this evening. Wanted to provide a quick transportation update, and more specifically a giant thank you. We have had 38 student conduct reports this year regarding transportation. And I think that that's really important to note, because when we compare it to last year, you can see that it's a substantial decrease with 71 reports last year in the same time frame. So what I really want to do is I want to thank our administration and our bus drivers, our parents and our students. Utilizing the Lynx Way, we are respectful, we are safe. We've created what appears to be common language and common verbiage that's having a positive impact on student behaviors, and this was an item that I wanted to draw attention to, specifically because I know we have some administrators at the elementary level, intermediate school level, that are taking a very proactive approach to bus behavior. And with the cooperation of our bus drivers, utilizing that common language seems to be having a positive approach. I am going to knock on some wood now so that the second quarter goes just as well. But overall, this is really, really positive news, and we want to thank our administration, our parents, and our kids, of course, for their positive behavior on the bus. Also want to provide an update on 230 South Split Rock, formerly known as Dairy Queen. The building demolition is scheduled to begin. Previously, you would have noted in our capital outlay requests at the beginning of this year, there was a line item for building demo that has been scheduled to be done. The lowest obtained quote was from Beckenhofer Construction for approximately $23,000. So Beckenhofer is responsible for the demolition of that project in its entirety. And then I also just want to bring you up to date on an item that we've been working on a little bit. So last year, you would remember that we conducted a teacher needs survey in what I would call the spring of 2017, asked all of our teachers to provide feedback on what they need in their classrooms to be successful. And as we take that data and utilize that data to allocate our resources, we started with our curriculum conversations and our curriculum adoption conversations, specifically at the science and social studies area. And the middle school folks asked some questions about where we were going technology-wise as they try to make choices with curriculum. Meaning, if you have additional technology, we would maybe do something different with curriculum. So ultimately, what it led us to is a chicken and the egg type of situation, and we needed to kind of gather some feedback from our staff in addition to the teacher needs survey we conducted last spring. So this fall, we conducted a brief survey to gather teacher feedback and insight on technology and devices at the middle school, and to figure out if our teachers would support what I would call a quasi one-to-one environment at the middle school, where every student has a device. The devices don't necessarily go home on a regular basis. There would be a check-in, check-out, beginning of the day, end of the day. And I would tell you that the feedback that we gathered from our middle school staff was 86% approximately of our teaching staff supported the idea of going to a quasi one-to-one environment. There were 35 respondents, 29 in favor, and 6 that opposed the idea. So that was the first step in this conversation, in this process. And what we will do now is we'll ask some questions about how would you use it, as that will help us in the back door regarding what device would be the best, and then also ultimately determining whether or not it's feasible to go with that device. So starting with the end in mind, we'll now work backwards a little bit and have some ongoing research and evaluation, potential recommendation coming in the coming months, but just want you to be aware that we are working on that topic. No recommendation is being made tonight, but be aware that we are evaluating that type of quasi one-to-one environment at the middle school, and the first step was figuring out if it was what our teachers wanted. So the needs survey indicated additional devices last spring, and our survey here most recently continued to support that. Next, I just want to give you an update on our state aid fall enrollment. So this is the big number regarding dollars for the district. Our 2017 fall enrollment, 4,057.03. That's an additional 125 kids approximately. And then you can see in comparison to last year's fall enrollment of 3,932 students. So nice growth, right in that projection that we had, and it's a good thing to have happening. So that is our fall state aid count. Also just want to note, fall parent-teacher conferences recently conducted. A giant thank you to all of those that attended, parents and guardians attending. That's an absolutely critical component of helping promote a child's education, having an engaged adult. So thank you so much to them. Also thank you to our administration and our staff for their time and making those conferences successful. I would tell you that this is the first year that we've gone to a full day, regular day of school for parent-teacher conferences, and administratively we've identified some tweaks and some changes that we can make in the future with the full day schedule to help conferences flow more smoothly throughout the evening. So that's overall great participation, and I would note that we did send a parent survey last week on Thursday just to get an indication if the parents supported the full regular days of school or the 2-hour early dismissal days of school regarding parent-teacher conferences. The survey is still open. Early indication that the full day of school is more popular. Approximately 65% of our parents are indicating that they prefer the full day of school. Again, that is still open. I will probably close that survey here towards the end of the week as I see the participation start to fall off. But thank you for attending. Greatly appreciated. And then lastly, I just note upcoming items. No school November 10th, Wednesday, no school, and then the Thanksgiving break. And then it's never too early to start talking about the Christmas season and the holiday season. We'll have a 2-hour early dismissal on Friday, December 22nd. No school, December 25th through January 2nd. That is all I have, Madam Chair. I would certainly entertain any questions you may have.
Sure. Regarding the survey that was sent to parents on their preference for all-day school versus a 2-hour early dismissal for conferences, will that same survey be sent to all of our staff?
I would tell you that last year through the calendar process, we talked about full day versus 2-hour early dismissal day, and there's a teacher liaison committee that I meet with specifically to talk about calendar development and those types of things. So that would be where the staff's voice comes through. I would tell you that I have spoken with all of our administrators regarding conferences and how they were received, and a lot of the feedback that I'm getting from our administration is that staff preferred the regular day of school. Obviously not everyone, as we all will not agree on one specific approach, but overall I've heard positive things about the full day of school from administration and from their staff.
Okay. And then, sorry, I had another question. Oh, regarding the middle school technology survey, how many teachers are at the middle school? I'm trying to relate that to the number that took the survey. And you said 35 took it? Or
35, there were 35 respondents.
Okay, okay. And then, did they provide reason?
Sorry, go ahead, Brad, restate. 45 teachers? Yeah, it went solely to classroom teachers.
So you had a good participation? Okay, okay.
We only had one person who did not fill it out.
Okay. Did they provide reasons for support and reasons to be opposed? Or did they just say, I support it or I oppose it?
Yeah. No, so the survey was a yes, I support, or no, I do not support, and then below that were comments.
Do you recall, or can you share why they oppose more technology at the middle school level?
Well, I would say there was a variety of reasons. Some indicated that they felt the kids needed to do paper pencil stuff, supported that. There were some individuals, I would say, who were very concerned about the machines in and of themselves being moved from location to location and them getting broken, or kids having the ability to manage the device. The type of device that we get or use was of question. So those were, of the 6 that I recall, that was some of the feedback. The other thing I would notice, some of the feedback also indicated that there would be preference to have a cart per classroom. So rather than student A get computer A, student A would walk, be in the building, but wherever they went, there would be a laptop available for them in the classroom. That's not cost efficient at all and would require us to have approximately 200 some more devices. So, I mean, if that is the only approach that we would want to consider going, that's probably not feasible. So again, it's in its infancy, and I would just say that we identified it with our teacher needs survey last spring as being something that they were interested in. It was the most critical thing on the teacher needs survey at the middle school level as far as number of devices, access to technology, and then the curriculum choices that we're in the process of making stimulated additional conversation. So that's kind of where we're at. And again, the conversation will continue, and we will see if we can create a feasible plan. Yep.
Any other questions for Superintendent Larson? If not, we'll move on. For anyone who likes light reading, numbers 2 through 8 are the school improvement plans. Only 2 or 3 pages each, I'm sure. So please read through those. I'm kidding. Sarcasm. Sorry, clarify. Anyway, but those are really, for people who have never actually read the school improvement plans, there's actually a lot of good information in there. So for some of us who do sit down and actually read them, even though it can take us weeks to get it done, there's a lot of good information in there, and they are actually quite important to our district. So they are very important. So if you really want to read them, please do. No board policy tonight. That takes us to general business. Consent items number 1 and 2. I would entertain a motion to approve those as presented tonight.
So moved.
Second. There's been a first and a second. All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion passes. Next, we have 4 consent items under personnel. I would entertain a motion to approve items 1 through 4.
Move to approve personnel items 1 through 4.
Second. There's been a first and a second. All those in favor? Opposed? Motion passes. Thank you. That takes us to our formal reports. Does anyone have a formal board report tonight that they would like to present?
I guess just a real brief for the curriculum and technology. We did meet last week, or 2 weeks ago, I guess I would say, to say it was my first time being able to attend the meeting, and although I've heard several great reports, Mrs. Stoddard does an outstanding job in what she does. It was strikingly obvious her, I guess, focus on making sure not only the students have what they need, but the teachers and the staff have many options available. So thank you for what you do. That was very obvious. But what came up as the very crux of our conversation was the technology part, because I think what's very obvious in our discussion was everything that's being offered is more and more technology. So the more options that teachers want to have is going the technology route. So as we talk about the middle school options, we probably need to be really surveying technology sooner rather than later, because even if we put it off, technology is probably going to be the route we're going to go eventually. So that's definitely on the board, and it's probably not just for the middle school. We're probably going to be looking at that for all ages eventually. So that was just something that came up, so for conversation.
Thank you very much. Anyone else? If not, there's one travel report there for your review. And at this point, we will be transitioning to the Brandon Valley Middle School for a tour of the construction project. No action will be taken, and the public and all meeting attendees are welcome to join us for a tour of the project. So with that, I would entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved. Second.
There's been a first and a second. All of those in favor? Opposed? Motion passes. Thank you very much for coming tonight.